Microorganisms play a pivotal role in the fermentation process of foods, a natural and age-old method of food preservation and flavor enhancement. Fermentation involves the metabolic activity of microorganisms, such as bacteria, yeast, and molds, to transform raw food materials into more stable, flavorful, and nutritious products. The microorganisms involved in fermentation contribute to the breakdown of complex compounds, the production of beneficial byproducts, and the preservation of foods. Here are key aspects of the role of microorganisms in the fermentation process. 1. Metabolic activities. Fermentation pathways. Microorganisms carry out fermentation through specific metabolic pathways. In the absence of oxygen, these organisms utilize alternative pathways to generate energy by metabolizing sugars and other organic compounds present in the food. Production of metabolites. During fermentation, microorganisms produce various metabolites, including organic acids, alcohols, and gases. These byproducts contribute to the characteristic flavors, textures, and preservation of fermented foods. 2. Lactic acid fermentation. Lactic acid bacteria, Lab, including species like Lactobacillus and Streptococcus, are common in lactic acid fermentation. These bacteria convert sugars into lactic acid, reducing the pH of the food. The acidic environment inhibits the growth of spoilage and pathogenic microorganisms. Fermented dairy products. Lab are crucial in the fermentation of dairy products such as yogurt and cheese. They contribute to the coagulation of milk proteins, the development of texture, and the production of characteristic flavors. 3. Alcoholic fermentation. Yeast. Yeasts, such as Saccharomyces cerevisiae, are responsible for alcoholic fermentation. Yeasts convert sugars into alcohol and carbon dioxide. This process is commonly employed in the production of alcoholic beverages, including beer and wine. Bread making. Yeast fermentation is essential in bread making. Yeasts produce carbon dioxide, causing the dough to rise. The resulting gas pockets contribute to the light and airy texture of bread. 4. Acetic acid fermentation. Acetic acid bacteria. Acetic acid bacteria, like Acetobacter, are involved in the conversion of ethanol into acetic acid. This process is known as acetic acid fermentation and is central to the production of vinegar. Fermented condiments. Acetic acid fermentation is used in the production of condiments such as pickles. The acidity created by the bacteria helps preserve the vegetables and imparts a tangy flavor. 5. Mold fermentation. Molds. Molds, such as those in the Aspergillus and Penicillium genera, are used in the fermentation of certain foods, including soy sauce and tempeh. They contribute to the breakdown of proteins and the development of unique flavors. 6. Preservation. Antimicrobial activity. The acidic and alcoholic environments created during fermentation have antimicrobial properties. These conditions inhibit the growth of spoilage organisms and pathogens, contributing to the preservation of the fermented foods. 7. Nutrient enhancement. Nutrient bioavailability. Fermentation breaks down complex compounds in food, increasing the bioavailability of certain nutrients. For example, the fermentation of grains in sourdough bread enhances the availability of minerals and other nutrients. Probiotics. Some fermented foods, particularly those involving lactic acid fermentation, contain probiotic microorganisms. Probiotics are beneficial for gut health and may contribute to the balance of the intestinal microbiota. 8. Flavor and aroma development. Production of volatile compounds. Microorganisms produce a variety of volatile compounds during fermentation, contributing to the characteristic flavors and aromas of fermented foods. These compounds include esters, aldehydes, and ketones. Complex flavor profiles. The diversity of microorganisms and their metabolic activities contribute to the development of complex flavor profiles in fermented foods, making them distinct and appealing to consumers. Conclusion. Microorganisms play a multifaceted role in the fermentation process, influencing the preservation, flavor, and nutritional aspects of various foods. The diverse metabolic activities of bacteria, yeast, and molds contribute to the rich tapestry of fermented products that are enjoyed worldwide. From dairy products and bread to pickles and fermented beverages, the art and science of fermentation showcase the symbiotic relationship between humans and microorganisms in the realm of food production.